Because any guy who's really confident and self-respecting, if the woman never is even trying to contribute, he feels like he's being taken advantage of.
And he likely is. Hey, it's Christine Grace. Welcome back to my channel. Today is another reaction video. Like the video on your way in and let's get straight into it.
Let's have one more question. We had this person at the back in the stripes. Yeah, let's hear from you.
During the dating period, after like 4 or 5 months of dating, I just wondering at what point do you have to pay, did the woman have to pay when they go out? The guy is asking that there should be half and half at that point when you already...
At what point?
When you already been dating for 4 or 5 months.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, okay, to give you a quick answer on, firstly, I think we should just deal with the who should pay thing to begin with. When you're on a date, who should pay?
I know. I mean, that's what I told them. I'm sorry.
But
I would say, I'm dating. We're dating.
But here's the
gentleman here.
Okay. He's supposed to pay.
Yeah, that's what I told him.
But you're supposed to have sex with him whenever he says.
No. Whenever both.
Where does this double standard come from? I'm sorry, it's the reality. You guys...
I just reacted to another video from the Whatever podcast talking about this subject, like who should pay. And I mentioned that my reasonings for offering to pay is to show genuine interest and to show I'm appreciative of his time, or if I'm not interested, to show that I'm not taking the mickey out of him. I'm not just going to take his money and then never see him again. But also, this is another point. Because if the man pays, everything in this world is a trade-off in one way, shape, or form. So it's if the man pays, he can kind of, not morally, ethically can, but if we're talking about simple exchanges here, he's paid for your time. Don't twist my words and say, if a man pays for you, he, can do whatever he wants kind of thing. But there are these subtle kind of things that go on below the surface. And if a man is paying for everything and you're not bringing anything to him, and let's be real, men like sex, men want sex, and you're not doing that, then I think what he's saying is completely fair enough. And that's another reason why I think you should offer to pay, because then you don't get yourself in sticky positions where you're not making any sense and you seem entitled and you're not bringing that to the table.
You can moan at it all you want, but the moment you say to a guy, you have to fucking pay for my time, you're saying this relationship isn't equal. This relationship isn't equal. My time is worth more than yours, so you should pay for it.
He's spot on. He's spot on.
What paradigm that sets up? Here's my view. If you go on a date with a guy and you don't offer to pay your share, you weren't taught right.
Facts. He is spot on. It is general etiquette. It's just courteous to offer to pay. You're an adult. Whose parents raised them to just take things off of other people? Whenever I would go out for meals with other people's families, my parents would always put cash in my pocket. You give this to their parents. Always. Even when I went out with family, my mom and dad, when I got back, would ask me, did you go anywhere to eat? Did you... what person, king, queen, whatever, who walks around, and other people, you should just expect other people to pay for you. That's so backwards. Where's the respect in that? Completely agree with this guy. Completely.
If you go on a date and he doesn't pay, he wasn't taught right. I can tell you right now, if I was dating someone and they never offered to pay, I wouldn't be dating them. I can tell you that now. If they never offered to pay, I would not be dating them, because I'd say, this is the most polite they're ever going to be. And they're not even trying to pay now.
Yeah.
What does
absolutely say
about my future? But I look.
And this is another thing, because women always talk about first impressions, but it's like, what impression are you putting up at first? Like, how is it on the other podcast that I just reacted to on this topic from the Whatever podcast? One of the girls said, like, when he's my boyfriend, I won't mind paying for him. It's like, how is the guy supposed to know that? Like, and on this same podcast, first impressions were mentioned. So how is a guy supposed to know if your first impression is not that you have a generous side as well, that you understand, you know, money and time is valuable? If you're not presenting at the first date that you're not some stuck-up type girl that isn't willing to pay for anything, then he's just going to presume that you are. The guy doesn't know that 5-6 months down the line, when you think he's worthy enough, you're willing to put your hand in your pocket. Like, no, show that you're willing to put your hand in your pocket straight away, you know? Like, you might not even end up paying. The guy still might be like, you know, you're not paying, but you should be willing to pay.
Let me come at this from a different angle. I will always treat my partner how I would treat my best friend. And I wouldn't apply a different standard to my partner than my best friend. I wouldn't say to my best friend, let's always go out to dinner and you always pay. I'd say, let's be teammates here in whatever way we can. And maybe, by the way, proportionately, what you can do is less than what he can do. That's a different thing. If he says to you, I want to go stay at the top hotel in Big Sur this weekend, and it's $1,500 a night, and you say, I don't have the money. It's his job to say, it doesn't matter. I didn't do it so you could pay. I did it because I want to go and I want to take you. Great. That's what that is, right? Or if you both agree to go on holiday and you have a fifth of his earning potential, you say, I want to contribute to a fifth of this holiday. It's overly simplistic, but you get what I'm saying, right? I'll contribute on the level I can contribute. Let me tell you what means something to a guy.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've spoke about this before. You know, whoever's earning more should be willing to contribute more, because I completely agree. Like, you know, if you're looking for a future together and you're in a relationship where you're working towards a future, you know, proportionality comes into it because you're building a future. So, you know, for example, you can't afford to be like just having, if a guy is earning significantly less than you, I know this is a bit of a backwards example, but let's just say for argument's sake, the girl happens to earn more, then the girl is going to put more forward into, you know, leisurely expenses because she can afford to do that. Whereas if the guy is doing that and the girl earns more, then, you know, a way you can even that out would be, okay, the girl saves more. You know, whoever earns more by whatever proportionality it is, whether the guy earns double, whether the guy earns, say, 30% more than the girl, then, you know, those kind of things should be worked out, especially if you're working towards a future together, because then you're both working. Obviously, this isn't a case that most people are working, and in today's day and age, most willing to put your share into things shows how much you really care about something. It shows your effort. And if someone's in a relationship and they're working towards a future and they've contributed nothing towards that future, their heart isn't really in it. Simple as.
Trying. That means something to a guy. When he feels that you're not even trying to contribute, that's when he feels used. Because any guy who's really confident and self-respecting, if the woman never is even trying to contribute, he feels like he's being taken advantage of. And it has nothing to do,
And he likely is.
With money. It has to do with the lack of gesture. So I would be looking at, if you like this guy, maybe if you're in different positions, figure out what you want to contribute proportionately or what you can contribute proportionately and treat him as you would your best friend.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. There is nothing more off-putting than when a person can clearly afford to make a gesture and they don't. You know, it's a different case if a guy and a girl are dating and the girl doesn't even have a job. Of course, the guy is, you know, gonna be able to pay more. But it's like, if you're both working and you both have income coming in and you don't even make the gesture, you aren't willing to contribute anything, guy or girl, you're gonna be thinking, what? Like, where is this person's priorities? I think everything he said there was completely on the money. But what do you think? Why don't you let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up on your way out and be sure to subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all of my videos. Head over to Playlist where you can check out my series Debunking the Lunacy. I am working on a season 2. Very excited to share that with you guys in the next few months. So yeah, make sure you subscribe so you can keep up to date with everything, and I'll see you very, very soon. Take care.